first really down-to-the-wire game of the season. What did you learn about your team tonight that maybe you weren't sure about through the first 6 games?
Yeah, I mean, we got thoroughly outplayed in every way, shape, and form in the first half. They beat us down the floor. They were the aggressor on the glass. They were just tough-minded, talented team. And we couldn't stop them really in any way. We were loose with the ball. And then the second half, we played. I used that saying. I've told it to you guys. You've been around me long enough. When you whip a donkey or it'll kick, but if you whip a thoroughbred, it responds. Now, by no means are we thoroughbreds, but they responded. I got after London. I said, come on, let's go in every way, shape, and form, and he did. He played. We went with 4 guards at times. I thought that was a nice lift for us. We guarded. Offense will come and go, but your defense can't, and we violated something very important for ourselves, and we got a little tougher defensively. We don't score in the interior. You guys know that, and that showed up. But you still have to be able to get to the paint and do some things. And I thought in the second half we were better, but they're a solid ball club, well coached, strong, quick. They got balanced scoring, all that stuff.
You mentioned the not scoring in the paint, but defensively in the post in the first half. What did you see in terms of? I think they outscored you 22-4 in the paint in the first half.
They got down the floor. They ducked us in. We were losing vision. We were hugged up. I mean, we just were poor defensively. And they're one of those teams where if you're out of position, they make you pay. Tate is a tough matchup. I mean, he's 6'4", but he's so quick and strong. And then they have the size. We weren't very good, and they were really good.
Tony, did you said you kind of helped a little bit, it sounds like, but did London maybe have a moment tonight where we've talked about him kind of being the leader and take charge guy? Did he have a moment tonight where he realized this is the kind of game where I have to do that? Yeah,
I mean, it was a tale of 2 halves for him without a doubt, and he had a terrific second half and a not so terrific first half, to be polite. But he did. I got after him. I did, and he responded the right way defensively. And worked, and we don't have another way to do it. I wish we did. Some teams can, they don't have to be on all the time. Well, we weren't, so we showed we could play 20 minutes. But what we did in the second half is mandatory. And I think, again, are you going to make your threes like that and do all that? Perhaps not always, but the effort and the soundness that was needed. Even at the pace which we ran our offense. I mean, it wasn't just the defensive effort, it was the offensive effort in a way. I don't know if we were a little nervous or not used to being in that spot, but it's going to be one of those kind of years where we're going to have to scrap every possession.
Tony, after that late turnover by them was upheld and you had that inbounds play in the deep corner.
Tough spot.
Right, and then London threw long.
Yeah.
Had you told them, look deep there because you thought it would be open?
Yeah, I mean, that's almost foreshadowing to what we're going to see against West Virginia. It's going to be a lot of precedent and a lot of activity. It's just that's a difficult spot, but London made the play. I wish I could tell you. We had our play out of bounds was to look long, kind of screen and release. And we didn't have it. London just hustled, got the ball, and then he made the play long. And then, we didn't capitalize on the free throw. Good thing we finished the shot. You're missing some free throws down the stretch. That hurt, but hopefully if we're in that spot again, we'll step up and knock them down. But I thought we got good contributions from, all those guys in the second half. We needed that. And, again, I liked the lift that. I thought Devin brought toughness, and then I thought Darius had a good second half, and Mariel as well. And the young guys, that was a high level of intensity. They'll grow from that, and they'll give us some lifts, I know, coming up.
So how did halftime go? Was it just you getting on London, and then he turns to the rest of the guys?
We just had a pretty direct conversation with all of them and what we stand for, and what we've built our program on and how it has to be, and not to kid ourselves. And so they were all challenged, again, I talked to London as the senior point guard, but they're all challenged, and I thought they responded. It was a real quick, the way they came out. I think Ohio State was a little loose, but boy, we closed that gap awfully quick, and so it was good. I even got a funny story in the timeout. One of the timeouts, I said, okay, we were in one of our offenses, and I said, when Malcolm gets the ball in the middle, set a ball screen for him. And London said, it's London, coach. I said, I'm sorry, London. I said, I meant to say, I just said it in the heat of battle, so maybe it was wishful thinking at the time. I don't know what it was, but we were kind of cracking up. But London asserted himself, and it was good.
Is the conversation after this game that London, you need to start like that from the beginning now?
Well, yeah, I mean, we have to. It's not just London. We've played some solid basketball, but we have to be ready. We can't afford a sleepy start. I said, it's funny, we watched tape the other day, and I told the team when we beat Ohio State there, I said we were a little sleepy. I said maybe last year's team at times, though we never said it, but they had a little more firepower and could afford to be sleepy at times, though we didn't want it. This team can't do that. When that happens, you see what happens with the score. All of a sudden we're down 16. Was that what we got down, or 14? So sleepy, I don't know what the word is, but yeah, the message is be ready, and the defense can't take a possession off or can't get loose.
Andrew and Mike.
Tony, Mariel misses the 2 free throws, gives them an opportunity. They call timeout with 6 seconds left. What was said in your huddle, and
Yeah.
what did you think of your
Good
defensive stand?
last
at the end?
defensive stand was good, really good. I just was hoping we'd not foul and we'd make them shoot a tough shot. We said, okay, we got back into this with some good hard defense. Let's do what we do and make them earn. There's always that, should we switch things? Should we trick it off a little bit? We said, no, we're going to be tough-minded. And, I mean, if there was a simple ball screen guard to guard, we would have switched. But we made them shoot. It was a pretty, 24-footer falling away. So you got to live to fight another day if he makes that. But I wish we could have salted it away with the free throws, but we didn't.
Tony, you mentioned what you're going to see this weekend. I know this one just ended, but you had a much more veteran team to go against that press a year ago.
Yeah.
What do you anticipate from your guys in handling that?
Yeah, I remember getting overwhelmed in the first half down there, that press. I haven't watched them yet. Jason is scouting them, so if we do well, it's Jason. If we don't, it's Jason. So just so we know, Coach Williford. But I know he's been saying, hey, in practice, I know we're preparing for Ohio State, but if there's any way we can work against the extreme pressure and pressing, I could tell his antenna's up. And, of course, we know that. I think they're very deep. But, you're going to have to be very good defensively and take care of the ball to the best of your abilities and play. And, again, last year they took it to us, and we kind of flipped it in the second half.
Okay, 2 more. Doug and then Hank.
With your long home winning streak, do you sometimes overlook that home court advantage, and how do you think that was a factor tonight?
No, thanks for asking that, because the crowd was terrific. When we made that run to get it close to start the second half, that's as good as it gets. I'm so thankful for that, because you dream of that, you hope for that, you work to build your program so that it's deafening, and they're valuing just good play and defense, and it was as good as, well, I don't know if it was one of the best I've heard. It's hard to say if that's the best, but it was very loud, and that crowd was willing us to play that hard defensively and scrap and fight. So I loved it. Our students, our non-students, whoever was there, it was a good one.
Tony, how important is it in the evolution of this team and the development of this team, which is young, to have guys like Mariel not only be willing to take shots, Devin take shots, even Ty Jerome when he came in the first half, take shots and make them, and how much does that help them? Does it expedite maybe their growth?
Yeah, they're getting thrown into tough spots, the younger guys, and Mariel's wired to score. You can't play the game hesitant. You just can't. And when there's great pressure, you have to be assertive and make some plays. There's times that plays have to be made. You have to, I'm not saying break off the offense, but there's space and you got to be aggressive. So I thought Mariel did that for us the first half, a couple buckets, and we were aggressive, and we switched some things up in the second half. So I don't think we have hesitant players or fearful players. I think when the shot's there, they'll take it, and it's going to be all of them at different times. We can't just rely on one guy. It's really what gets done will get done together, and I think the young guys will have some more opportunities, and I think we'll get hopefully some more inside action, some post-up stuff, but it just wasn't happening tonight.